it.
Kristen Stewart. Of course, I became aware of her during the
Twilight movie.
Twilight, yeah, vampire movies. Love that. And I follow her all the time. Let me take a look. Wow, that's you, huh? Wow, I'm so used to seeing you every day when I check hey, good seeing you. Hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. Kristen Stewart. That's Robin. I won't introduce you to Fred. No one ever wants to meet him. Do you want to meet Fred? You don't want to meet Fred. See, I told you, no one likes meeting Fred. It's really weird to meet you because I have to confess, I do look at all your pictures on the Daily Mail every day.
Oh, fun.
When I follow your life. You're one of those people that I look at the paparazzi photos, but you look really annoyed in them.
Yeah. I've been cast as that character in the comic book of whatever the fuck that is.
Because you really don't know what to do when somebody's photographing you. I've been, like if I go to LA and I come out of a restaurant and they start, shoot my picture, I feel very awkward. I don't want to smile. I understand why you don't smile. I just want to act like I don't even know what to act like.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing thing.
Yeah. I know. It's like often fairly arbitrary as well. It's like maybe it was bright or something and I look like this and then you're like, oh, she looks miserable. It's like, no, I live in LA. It's like sunny out. I don't know. I didn't even know that person was there sometimes.
I know it's very unfair, but I don't know. You're one of those people I have to look at. I like when you're going in and out of the gym and you're wearing a crop top. And I like to read what they write and all that other stuff. You're fascinating.
Wow.
To me.
Is much of it true or is it just they make it up as they go along?
I feel like typically the actual content is pretty thin.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like Kristen Stewart flashes her midriff looking sunny or looking not. It's like, well, I wonder what that's about. She looks really tired today. It's like, the stories are,
I've created
they're true. Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I've created a whole life around you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really pathetic. It's really weird, but I have. And then I'm like, well, what's going on with Kristen today? Well, she's in her crop top showing off her midriff. Oh, wow. And I read these things and it's crazy. But you're not showing off your midriff. You're just being somebody who's trying to live their life.
Wearing half a T-shirt.
That's right. Yeah, it's just you being you. Anyway, I have to ask you about this before I get into your whole life. When you do a movie with Woody Allen, and he gives you direction, and he says to you, "Hurry up, I'm getting bored. I want you to do this." Does that blow your mind as an actress, or do you sit there and go, "Well, he's Woody Allen. He must know what he's talking about"? Because I thought good directors aren't supposed to tell you what to do.
Right. Yeah, everyone's different. I feel like in that particular circumstance, I agreed with him, and so it didn't put me off in any way. I wasn't like I know what he means. I know he did. I mean, it definitely wasn't designed to sort of like put me off kilter, even though a lot of people might be sensitive and weird. Actors are very delicate usually. I'm not. Like, I do want to just service the thing. Yeah. And I forgot my responsible water bottle.
You want a water bottle?
A responsible water bottle.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a hard time. You won't drink from plastic?
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, I really try not to. It's cool.
You sure? Go ahead. Have some water. You can have it. I promise I'll recycle it. Okay, I'm having the same problem. I'm into this weird thing. I'm off meat. I'm off poultry. I won't eat birds, all that kind of stuff because we do so much animal rescue.
Yeah.
My wife and I.
Yeah.
And then with the plastic bottles, I mean, the whole damn ocean is filled with plastic, but yet I don't trust the water coming out of my sink. So what are you doing?
There are these like really cool like filter bottles that apparently make the water all right. You live here?
Yeah. I live in many places, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the tap water, isn't it like classically people are like, you can totally drink the tap water in New York?
In New York, you're supposed to be able to,
I think it's bullshit. There's no fucking
Howard
way.
doesn't trust any test.
It is so goddamn dirty around here. I can't imagine that the water is clean here and the old pipes and everything.
Makes sense, yeah.
And I think so.
It tastes good though. It just does.
Yeah.
And then I recycle the bottles and then I find out from someone they don't, like after I do the whole separating thing, they say, when it goes down to the dump, they just dump everything all together anyway. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I've heard this as well.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
I have a filter bottle for you.
I don't trust the filter bottle because then I won't clean it enough.
You just buy a new one when it wears out.
I'm so fucked up and afraid of germs.
You know those water stores? I used to be like driving around in the valley when I was like a little guy. I was like, what are these? How do these places stay open? You go buy water from a water store. And now I'm like, yes, you go to the water store with a big, huge glass. Thank you so much.
Oh, what is that? That's your filter water?
I guess so.
What is that?
This probably came from a bottle.
I don't know what that is. What do you mean there's water stores? How do I not know this?
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can get alkaline water, different levels of whatever.
They have those filters, and they have big jugs.
Big jugs that you can put in your own, like, sort of make it cold things.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Is that where you're going? Water stores?
Mm-hmm.
How normal or abnormal is your life now since Twilight? I mean, can you... it seems to me that you attract, and you don't seem like a person who wants to attract paparazzi, but it seems to me like everywhere you go, even working out, how do they even know where the fuck you are? Who do people just report on you? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, it was boring. Like,
it's not boring to me. I don't know how you function.
I mean, they just sit outside my house, and there's no getting away. So at some point, you just kind of forego the care.
Do you have a gate?
I do live in a small gated community.
Smart.
But they just sit outside every single exit. I think there are a couple of us in it. So I think that I'm not the only one they wait for. So we all get kind of screwed.
So when you get in your car to drive somewhere, you got people following you.
Yes.
I would have a fucking car accident.
I used to be out of my goddamn mind about it.
Yes.
And now I'm not.
You're not.
No, you have to just chill. It's not safe. Like you just have to like breathe through it and realize that like those people are not, to me, people. There are sociopaths that we're all very aware of that do not care about other humans. They're imitating people. Those people are imitating people. I can't imagine that they have families. I genuinely don't understand how you do that to people. They're thieves.
Yes, because that's how Princess Diana died. I mean, there was a guy chasing her, and they went crazy trying to avoid this guy. It's
disgusting, and that story absolutely turns me inside out and makes me like I could start crying thinking about it.
It's a horrible story.
It's terrible.
It really is, and I think about you because I know, you know, on the one hand, you've got to say to yourself, hey, thank God Twilight happened. I can get any part I want. You know, not any part you want, but it definitely ups your ability to get great scripts in Hollywood. Yeah. Isn't it? You know, and then, but on the other hand, you're a young girl, and especially when Twilight came out, what were you, about 21, 2?
I was 18.
You were 18.
Yeah.
And the way they're covering your romance with Robert Pattinson and all this, I had him on the show, and he was talking about, he said no relationship could survive the intense scrutiny that we were under. It was insane.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we wanted to like keep it ours, and so it was like this thing of going like, well, do you live like openly and share your life in a way that actually entitles you to living it sort of more freely and naturally? Or do you like put it on lock because you hate the idea of perpetuating this like commodified version of your something that feels real to you? And you're like, no, I'm not selling you shit. But then you actually deprive yourself of like so many experiences. Like we didn't walk down the street holding hands because we were like, we don't want to give it to him. But then we didn't get to walk down the street holding hands. And
the best part, and you're right. I mean? Like, of course it sucks because the best part of a relationship with anyone
is screaming walking from the rooftops.
I'm in love.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around holding somebody's hand is so exciting. I remember when I first met my wife, we'd go out and I just said, you know, just walking down the street with you is an exciting thing for me.
Oh my God. I know that. I know.
And that takes away the experience. You know, it truly does. And there's no lessons you can take on how to handle this stuff, right? I mean, who do you turn to when your fame becomes so intense? It's a weird thing because Bradley Cooper, now he's a big star, but I know how Bradley lives. He's on the subway here in New York. I went out to dinner with him one night. He's walking down the street with me. We're just strolling along. It seems for some reason like he can walk around and not get the kind of attention you get. My theory on this is there's a couple of women in Hollywood who are so attractive and so mesmerizing, like in the Julia Roberts category, you being one of them, that they're consumed with you.
I do know for a fact that men get approached in a very different way because they're, I don't know, more intimidating or just, there's like a certain, I don't know, it's hard to pick the word. There's a respect thing where people go like, oh no, I wouldn't. Whereas women are like, we're like, it's like fodder. Like I mean, I've seen the difference between how people approach men versus
hadn't
women.
Considered that. I hadn't considered that. You might be right.
No, you're bigger. Like guys they're bigger. They have the stature of like, excuse me, I sort of command a certain thing, especially like successful, famous men. Like there's a certain sort of like, you know, I don't know. There's a dominance. They're genuinely dominant and we're not. And so it's like, there's just more entitlement. And also it's like, wait, give us what we want. Like, you're a girl, you should be happy to be here, and you should be smiling. It's like, I know it's kind of an old story, but it's like,
it's
true.
like, yeah, you know what? You should be happy. You're famous and everything's perfect in your life. So therefore you should sit here and pose for us.
Yeah, but we've put you here. We own you now.
And it's weird too, because then when a guy who they don't normally bother gets into a relationship with a very famous woman, they become a couple, and then suddenly the paparazzi are way more interested in them.
Well, yeah, stories. People like to, it's fantasy. Storytelling. Yeah, exactly. It's like projection, and
it is weird.
Yeah.
And it does seem weird especially when it happens to a girl who's 18 or 19.
It felt wrong. Yeah.
It feels like a rape in the sense that you're
Don't say that.
Well, no, well, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like a complete invasion? I'm not comparing rape to being photographed.
No, totally. But I did that once because it was just sort of like this easy word to pull. And then you're like, obviously, I do not mean in any remote literal sense.
Right. But God forbid you said, yeah, right.
But which I understand completely. It's like there is absolutely, it's like incomparable scenario. But
right.
Theoretically, yes, you're stolen from and you're forced.
So am I wrong to look at these pictures on the Daily Mail? Should I stop? If you tell me to, I will. What am I supposed to do?
Don't give them clicks or whatever. I don't even genuinely, I don't even care.
All right, I'm going to stop. How do you like that? I'm going to do that for you.
Great. Pick another outlet. I don't know. I take pictures willingly all the time. Look at those.
I know. That is true. You know what movie that you did that I'm really fascinated by? The Joan Jett movie, the Runaways thing. What now? When you play Joan Jett versus a character in a movie, that's got to be a weird thing. And the fact that you hung out with Joan Jett is even weirder. Like, in a way, if I was an actor, I wouldn't want to hang out with Joan Jett because it would intimidate me. And I'd say, oh, how the fuck am I supposed to be this person?
Yeah.
And then she's going to be looking at you cross-eyed because, oh, you're not being like me.
Yeah.
But the way you prepared for that role is to just hang out with her all day and night?
Yeah.
Like live with her almost 24 hours.
She was with me the entire shoot. There was really never a day that she wasn't there. Yeah.
Isn't that weird in a way? If you had to do that movie all over again, do you want the person you're doing, in essence, you're doing the story of their life? Do you really want them hanging out with you, commenting, that doesn't feel real, that feels real, that doesn't?
In this case, I would do it again the exact same way because she's so she's so intimidating, like staggeringly so. Like when you meet her, like, oh, like she has this armor on that is just like, it's kind of penetrating.
She's tough.
She's really tough, yeah. But then you realize that the reason she is that way is because she is a delicate little angel baby. Like she's very, like, it's a self-protective thing because she's super soulful and like sensitive and very attuned. She's such a, yeah, exactly. And so like, we really got along really well.
So her suit of armor is this tough girl kind of thing. But if you get to know her and you get under the hood, she's very emotional and a delicate person.
Oh, yeah. No, the reason she is who she is not because she's like, yeah, tough. It's because she's like a poet. Yeah.
When I hang around people like that, and maybe you even get this rap too, that like people think you're super cool. They think that like with Joan Jett too. Like, oh, she's just a super cool woman. And you get weird around people like that because you don't know how to be. You feel like you have to be someone other than who you are because they're judging you. You know what I mean? And so playing Joan Jett and hanging around with her all the time, to me would be tough just because I wouldn't want to disappoint her.
At first it was awful. Like I can't rehearse. I can't commit to rehearsal. I can't show anyone anything before it happens. It just feels like ridiculous until it's go time. I just find it to be an absurd act.
I get it.
And so she was like, we were rehearsing Cherry Bomb and I was kind of like barely half-ass like doing it. And she was like, I could see the worry in her face because she doesn't know my process. She hasn't made a bunch of movies. Do you know what I mean? So, and I was just like, I saw her face kind of fall and genuinely question whether or not this was going to go down. And I was like I started crying and like, I was like, I promise it's going to be okay. As soon as we started shooting, it was like, not only did she allow me to kind of live in it and like, she kind of handed her stuff over to me in a way that I didn't have to be exactly like her because that would just be.
That would suck.
That would suck. It wouldn't be
you
real.
Doing an impression.
Exactly. And that wouldn't be real. Yeah.
But that's the weird thing. I understand that. When you're pretending before the camera's rolling, you almost want to give it about 30% of your energy.
Yeah.
Because it feels stupid.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you get in front of the camera, then you feel like that's my job and I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then you can really commit to it and really be swept up in something that kind of is beyond your control.
That's why I would be annoyed if Joan Jett was hanging out with me the whole time, because I have to sit there and explain to her how I work, how I do it. Did you learn how to play guitar for that?
Luckily, I started playing guitar when I was on set, like as a little kid. My dad played a lot. And
yeah,
so
but there was some other movie you played guitar in too. I'm trying to think of, or something. What was the movie? What am I thinking of? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I played guitar in Into the Wild too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you really, but on the Joan Jett movie, you're really playing?
We didn't play live.
No.
But I mean, I knew the songs, and we pre-recorded them. It was like such a run and gun movie. It was tiny. And
I see.
Yeah.
What was your favorite movie to do? Was it Twilight, do you think? I mean, just in terms of the process, or was it working with Woody Allen, or maybe, what about, I would think maybe with Jodie Foster. When you were what, how old, 11? When you worked with Jodie Foster?
I turned 11 on that movie. Yeah.
You were really good in that. You're talking about the safe room where you guys lock yourself in a room.
Yeah.
And you kind of look like Jodie Foster in that movie. In a weird way, I could believe you were her daughter.
Yeah, it felt that way. And it was weird because she was actually cast after I was. We rehearsed with someone else for several weeks, and then it fell through, and she came on, and I was like, oh, this is perfect casting. You look like me.
You mean you guys?
She's
to an
like,
11-year-old. Hey,
cool.
they found some lady who looks like me.
Yeah. Oh, look, you did a really good job. She's perfect for my mom.
Were you nervous? Like, you had no concept at 11 years old that Jodie Foster was as big a deal as she was, right?
I actually, I had seen Taxi Driver at that age, which is
right.
I don't know how that happened.
How does that happen?
Well, I was a curious kid. I was the youngest in my family, and like there's shit lying around, and you consume it. You know what I mean? Like my parents were never super like sheltering. Also, I feel like I read chunks of, definitely saw Private Parts when I was like really little, and it was like formative. I genuinely was like, I remember like the image of like you on the cover. I just fully remember being like, what is that? Like, it was,
Private Parts was in the house as like a DVD or a video or something.
And the book.
And
too.
the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw the movie on TV, but I remember reading parts of the book too. And it was like, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was like, I was extremely curious. And
so
like,
fucked up.
It's so fucked up. Yeah, I know. And I was like way too young, but at the same time, like I turned out fine. But it was super developmental is what I'm saying. Seriously, like it was a thing.
Uh-oh.
You know, I'm
listen, don't blame me if you're seeing a psychiatrist. You see a shrink to deal with all the fame and to deal with your stepping out of the house and having people chasing you around all day. Do you go to see someone?
I think anyone who can afford it should probably be in therapy, but I don't take that advice. I don't know.
You've never been to a psychiatrist?
No, I've been to, like, I don't know. I self-help. I enrich my life and sort of like compartmentalize and consume art and make it. And I love my friends and I have a dog. And when I look into my dog's eyes, I feel like I should probably go to therapy. Yes, you're absolutely right.
I don't even mean so much therapy. Like, is there someone you can turn to, whether famous or not? Now, we think they'd have to be famous, that could say to you, listen, I went through this. This is how you handle it. This is how you handle yourself. I mean, I know there are PR people who can tell you how to be on TV, and there's people who can tell you this and that and the other thing. But I'm talking about someone who you trust, because I would imagine in your stratosphere, there aren't a lot of people you can trust.
Yeah. I mean, my publicist has been my publicist since I was like 13.
Really? Who's that?
Her name's Ruth. She's here.
Ruth?
Yeah.
Does she represent other people, or are you her only client?
She represents, a lot of other
She has a big agency.
Yeah.
Right.
But she's like my sister. Like, she's one of my best friends, and she's like
protective of you.
Extremely. And I know for a fact that it's definitely in no way like it's not like self-serving, and it's not. She definitely doesn't like tell me how to be in order to get any sort of like pre-designed. We function from a really natural and like instinctive place that feels super true. And
so Ruth is the person you would turn to and say, listen, I went to the gym today. These guys were out here photographing me. Then I got in my car and they followed me, and I had the worst fucking day because I didn't know what to do and I didn't know how to handle it. Ruth would be the one. She's the go-to person.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, absolutely, yeah. Or just like you just go, you call like friends, like good friends, and you just have to sort of put it out.
When you were a kid in school and you started acting so young, were kids hostile to you in the sense that, big shot, now you're in, you started out very young. Your parents were in show business. behind the camera, right?
Yeah.
Your dad was a set designer, I want to say?
Stage manager.
Stage manager. And what was your mom doing?
She was a script supervisor.
Right. So in a way, it's weird. Like my dad was in radio.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'd see other guys in radio, I go, that's what I want to do. But it made me think I'll never be able to do that because they're so accomplished and they're so magnificent.
Yeah, I remember that in Private Parts. I remember
it freaked me out. So like
I can completely relate to that feeling of looking up to your parents and sort of like what they do as a complete, like as an ideal, as an aspirational, like, God, I want to do that.
You were excited by what they did.
Extremely. They would come home smelling like they had just been out in the world, like really like just had been like traversing crazy distances in order to like achieve a story thing. And they're like part of a circus and they come home with like, you know, mini candy bars in their pockets and like a script bag and they don't come home for 16 hours and they leave 8 hours later. Like to me,
it was intoxicating.
It was sick. I loved it. I was like,
wow.
all I want.
And they would bring you to the set.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you would look at this and just, I've got to be an actor.
Yeah, when I was little, I wasn't like really keen on performing. I just wanted to be on the crew. I de-glorified that job in order to sort of be a part of like a blue collar. I was like, yeah, I mean, we're glorified liars. You know, we're just like we're like really good at pretending, but we're just another member of the crew. And then I got a little older and I started really like understanding how you could be like fulfilled as an artist in that way and how it is somewhat different at times to just having a more sort of technical job. And I was like, now, and then I became like a more sort of pretentious, like.
So you never trained as an actress? Like, did you have formal training when you were a little kid? You were doing it just kind of like by feeling it.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. Like you could go into a commercial audition. I guess you do commercials at first and you do little walk-ons where you don't say anything.
I didn't ever get any of those. I only ever got one commercial.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the commercial?
Porsche.
Oh, no kidding.
It's pretty cool.
Was it cool?
Yeah, it was sick. It was really cool.
Did you get to speak?
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to learn how to memorize lines and to compose yourself? I mean, I remember.
I was very shy and nervous, but no, I could remember lines like, yeah.
Because when I first got on the radio, I was a fucking mess. I mean, there was just nobody banking on me. I can't imagine at that young an age to be poised enough to be in a Porsche commercial.
I was not poised. Not in any sense. Like I was like literally like thrown out of any like typical commercial or like Disney like type of like kid stuff, like little kid shows or never, not even close. The first movie I did was called The Safety of Objects and it was like dark and bizarre and sort of heady.
Didn't you do something for Disney? Didn't you once have some kind of interaction with Disney or did you audition for Disney and that kind of thing?
No.
Never?
I mean, maybe I auditioned when I was younger for some Disney stuff, but
you had a lot of
never
rejection.
got it. Oh my God. Yeah. I auditioned for like a year and a half and didn't get anything. And was also like, it's a demoralizing and brutalizing process going in as a little kid and having all these like girls be like, ding, ding, and they fit the,
yeah.
They're like bouncing around and dancing and they're fully able to somehow, not feel shame. And I was just like drenched in it. And then I found my people, you know?
Yeah. Because you're self-conscious when you're a little kid too.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, I was like a mess. Yeah.
When you sang the dreidel song at a school holiday show, are you Jewish?
So I did 23andMe and I'm 24% Ashkenazi Jew.
Oh, you are?
My mom was adopted, so we just didn't know.
You don't know what you are?
But she was adopted by Ben and Norma Ehrman in Van Nuys, California in 1953. So I was like, Mom, I'm pretty sure that they probably would have, at that stage, adopted a fellow Jew. And I could be wrong about that, maybe not. But I feel like back in the day, people were quite, I don't know. Huh. Anyway, it's on her side and I'm thrilled. And like now I'm, you know.
You were at school, you sang the dreidel song and an agent saw something in you and decided that he would represent you? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, it was more like kind of a cattle call situation. Like someone's mom worked at a thing where it was like, come buy headshots and like a few audition classes to learn how to like put yourself on tape or go give your like name and slate.
Right.
And my mom was like, do you want that? And she definitely didn't think that I was going to say yes. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do that. And she was shocked because I was like
super shy.
Yeah, extremely.
Yeah, I get that vibe from you for some reason. I feel like you're a very private, very shy person. And then yet you're able to go on and act. When you go to a party.
I'm not maybe anymore. Yeah, no, but I'm like definitely not like a
When you go to, if I saw you at a party in Hollywood, would you be sitting in the corner somewhere, kind of like just too intimidated by everyone to really speak up, or would you be having a conversation with people?
Oh, I talk to people.
You do?
Yeah. Depends on how fucked up I am. I'm kidding.
Weed, you live in California. Weed's legal. You like weed?
Yeah, I do. The first time I ever was photographed after the Twilight thing happened, I was on my front porch with my like high school boyfriend and my dog, and I was hitting a pipe. And then like his family, who lived in Staten Island, that were far less, accepting of stuff like this than my fucked up hippie parents from LA.
Right.
Were like, you guys are on your front porch smoking pot. And I was like, what? How do you know that?
Oh my God.
And it was like in the post. It was like the first thing. And then Ruth was my girl, my publicist was like, maybe take it inside from now on. I mean, I think things are like changing rapidly.
Ruth is right though. It's a weird thing with Hollywood with pot. When you see that picture, I mean, everybody's smoking pot, and yet in Hollywood, they're so afraid of addiction and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to like perpetuate that idea.
Yeah. I get it, but it's weird because
very well adjusted. It's all good. I can smoke weed. It's no biggie.
Yeah, it's no biggie. But people probably, because you're a leading lady, people are constantly probably telling you what to do and what not to do to not affect your career.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I think I can kind of feel it in a sort of like undefined way. I mean, a couple of times I've had like a few conversations that rub me the wrong way, but like typically people around me are really supportive and loving.
People say don't be photographed with a girlfriend. People do say don't be photographed with weed or something.
That was sort of a conversation that happened like a number of years ago, and I kind of never got over it.
Right.
And then in this rapidly developing and progressing time, it became absurd. And I was like, that was only 3 years ago. I used to have conversations where people would be like, if you don't want to talk about it and you don't want to define yourself, then you need to stop setting yourself up for that by going out and whatever. And it was just like, well, here's the thing. Now that question it's a ridiculous and ignorant question. And it's a sort of like violent, like, okay, a friend of mine has a kid, and she was like, hey, I asked my kid if he was like gay, but it was like in like the nicest, like sort of most, I was just curious. I just want to know him. I just want to be as close to him as I possibly can. And he's really young, and he is really self-possessed and very clearly already feels comfortable in a way that feels fluid and cool and kind of like you don't know where it's going to go. And he was like, this is child abuse. And I was like, it's true. It's like, on some level, the sort of fervent question that was demanded of me for so long is now ridiculous.
That's true.
It's a non-starter.
But that's a Hollywood thing. I remember the days. Rock Hudson was a gay man.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys in Hollywood who were leading men who were gay. It was pretty well known. But if the general public found out, you were fucked.
Right.
No one could accept you in a heterosexual role. It just was weird. Like you're an actor, you're pretending to be something. What's the difference? But yet society hadn't gotten there.
Yeah.
So I could picture in your life, you got a couple of people in Hollywood who say, listen, you got a great career. You want to continue to have a great career. Don't fuck up.
Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah, don't be photographed with a woman.
Sure.
And that conversation did happen to you. And I always said, I would love to ask you about that because fuck it. I mean I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's got to be okay. It's just got to be okay to be whatever the fuck you are.
I am so coincidentally lucky to be like living in this time. And I look at literally just like people 5 years, 10 more, like people 5 years younger than me have it so much easier than I did 3 years ago. Like when it was just this ridiculous, people change every day. There is no reason why anyone needs to like provide an easy narrative for other people to digest. It's like, there's no, why would I simplify something very complex just in order for you to feel more comfy? It's I don't want to diminish this like cool thing, which is like discovering yourself and your sexuality and like how that changes. Like, yeah. Why would you box that up? Yeah.
I actually really do admire your courage.
Thanks.
Because I'm old enough to remember how horrible it was when people would come out. And especially in Hollywood.
Oh man.
And
violent.
the way you're living your life, is a beautiful example. You were like, hey, fuck it. I'm coming off Twilight. I can do movies. I can do this, but I'm not going to sit. I enjoy holding the person I love's hand in public.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And your life would suck if you didn't do that. And I admire your courage for doing it because I think a lot of people would have said, shit, I don't want to fuck up my career.
Yeah, totally. And what's cool is I'm really lucky. I never was in the closet. Like,
Never.
you know, me and Rob we like really kind of kept our stuff like on lock, which was really painful. But it was I never felt like ashamed of, I never felt, luckily I was raised by loving parents that were fully accepting and whatever. But like
Your parents are something else. Didn't they took in strays, right? I mean, when I say strays, I mean it in the sense that if a kid was having trouble in his family or just wasn't getting along at home, your parents would let other kids live in the house.
Yeah.
That's very unusual.
Yeah. My best friend had a really rough upbringing and just didn't have really any options. And I was like, he has to be here. I mean, there's nothing else. Yeah.
And they say, okay.
Yeah. They even did that with some of their friends. Like they were very...
My mother would never allow that. Yeah. She would not. Because you know what? My mother would have gone and consulted and said, you know, in a way, bringing a kid into your house can be really hard on you too, because you want attention and you want the love of your parents.
Yeah.
In a way, maybe sometimes a kid shouldn't be allowed in your house. But your parents seem to have a really open attitude.
Yeah. These were like kind of dire situations. And then, yeah, we were just kind of like a communal...
What's it like? What do the kids' parents say when your parents are now keeping their kid in their house?
I mean, my best friend's mom and dad both died from drugs.
Oh, so they had nowhere to go.
They both passed away. Yeah, and then his grandparents subsequently were just like not. Yeah, it wasn't a feasible sitch.
And so that kid would have been in the system.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for your parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, they're pretty heroic too.
Yeah, yeah.
Who would take on the burden of another kid? Not too many people.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I have that too. Like, I feel like in a much less sort of dramatic, dire way, I have all my friends, like we have a very tight knit thing. Like I do feel like I kind of have this umbrella thing going on that I've got like a certain number of people under. And I think I got that from my parents. It's a nice way to live. Like a communal sort of lifestyle is great.
What's it like having a best friend who's both their parents, both this person's parents die from drug overdoses, and now they're living in your house? There had to be tremendous sadness brought into that house.
Yeah, he was going through a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that had to weigh on you. I mean, that had to be a heavy emotional burden, no?
To be honest, like fully, like, you know, yeah. I mean, like, I wish that it didn't still follow him. There's no way that that's not like a shaping and kind of devastating thing. Yeah. I feel bad. I still feel terribly for him. But
why did you drop out of school and get homeschooled in 7th grade? Were you...
Because school is miserable and scary.
I wish I could have. It sure is.
It's terrible.
But I couldn't. I wouldn't have had that option.
I know.
I mean, who?
So lucky.
You really are lucky.
I know.
7th grade. Why was school horrible for you in 7th grade? Was it because you were acting? Were the kids like kind of singling you out and saying, "Oh, who do you think you are, big shot"? Is that, were they trying to shame you for acting?
At that stage, I hadn't done anything like very big. Panic Room was like kind of an adult movie, and it was a couple of years since then. Time is
what was the problem then?
Kids.
What was going on in 7th, 6th grade, 5th grade? What was going on that made you feel so uncomfortable?
I think just the age. I just think, God, like I was not somebody who, like I had my friends. I think because I was like gone and then back, it was hard to sort of, you know, it was hard to like fall in.
Right.
When it was so staggered. I didn't have my friend group. I changed schools. It was like sort of, I went to this one school in a really nice area, and I was like not wearing the jeans. I was like such a weird little like self-conscious, like pimply, scuzzy, gross. You know when you just feel fucking gross?
Yes.
That.
Look at me. You think I felt gross? What, are you kidding? Of course. Do I know?
Oh man. Like no matter how many times you shower, you're just like, I hate this.
Oh my God. You see, like, I see you as so, you know, physically beautiful that I figured you went to school and you were the prom queen.
No,
like
no.
I really figured you just had it easy because of your beauty. And I always think people who are good looking get that advantage at school. Like
you should see no, my 7th grade pictures are
really,
there. Oh man. Yeah. Not cute.
But I see you as this cute kid in Panic Room with Jodie Foster when you were 11. So I just figured the world is your right. Like my wife modeled. She talks about school. The principal was worried about her every minute. You know, my principal didn't know my name. So it's very surprising to me that you would have a bad time in school.
I was like really bad at math, but really great at other stuff. Like
Right.
I couldn't get to my, ultimately the reason I stopped going to school is because my teachers actually resented the workload that I provided them, because they would have to like, I was in public school. And so they had to like put packages of work together so I could leave. And then I would come back and they were like giving me like low C's when I was working my balls off. And then like I failed a class and I was like, okay, I actually have to drop out and do independent study. And I was able to like design my curriculum and it was really cool. And it was like, educationally speaking, it was so much better because I could focus and I actually liked it. When I went to school, I was in like full on special ed math because my brain doesn't work like that. And then I was in like AP English, and they're so far from each other in the school. I would be like running to my last period and I would get in trouble every day for not making it. And I was like, it is physically impossible for me to get here. You don't understand. And then like, I wasn't the type of kid who could speak up for myself then. Yeah. So I would just be like late and in trouble. And I'd be like,
somebody help me.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, maybe if you tell your parents, they can help you, but you don't do that when you're a kid.
I'm going to be like, why is that?
I don't know. You're
why
an
don't
idiot.
Your parents?
Stupid.
I know, but you blame yourself. But there's something there that you just want to be a hero and be a martyr and act like
you
everything's
take on
fine.
So much as a kid. If I ever have a kiddo, I'm going to be like every day. I'm going to be like, what's going on? Tell me everything. What happened at school? Nothing. You liar. Like, come on. I can help you. Trust me. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's weird. Your whole life is kind of interesting to me because to start that young, and you've said like you never got to go to college, right? Do you regret any of that? Do you say, gee, wonder what that would have been like? What I could have learned academically? Maybe it would have been kind of a fun time.
No, I have a massive chip on my shoulder about that for sure.
You do, because I know in Hollywood there's a lot of people who kind of lay out what they've read, they know. There's a lot of
actors need to tell you how well researched they are, that I am an autodidact. Like, it's just like, yeah, for sure. But also you could just be an actor and that would be cool too.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. But same, I'm always telling people about like all the shit that I know because I'm like.
So when you started with Twilight, which is a defining moment, you said that was like your college education. And I don't think it's the education.
No,
I think
it was a college
the social.
experience.
Yeah, it was like hanging out with all those kids.
Yeah, that was like the period of time where I was like, drinking too much beer and like rolling to class like, cross-eyed.
Was it so much fun in the camaraderie? I mean, not only were you falling in love with Rob on the set, which, by the way, I think is the biggest mistake an actor can make.
There was nothing I could do.
It was just the director was even nervous because the first time you guys they auditioned you together, or you would already had the part, but they put you together to see the chemistry. There was immediate chemistry between the two of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty
weird.
obvious.
It's so weird. Like actually being honest about this is like, it's been so heavily consumed. And it's like, I have this fear that people would assume that maybe I'm like, it's kind of attention, like, oh, cool, you're still like pushing that narrative or whatever. It's like, no, I've actually never been allowed to just say what happened.
Right.
Because I was so self-conscious about seeming like an attention seeker, like somebody who was like trying to.
Or taking advantage
exactly.
of the fact that you guys were dating and stuff.
People, I mean, we were together for years. That was like my first,
love.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was super in love with my high school boyfriend, super, super fucking in love with him. But me and Rob were like a little older, and it was just like, go-gong. But
he's a charming guy.
He's the best.
He's really...
He's the best.
And, that movie, especially the first one, the way you played it, and maybe, it was just perfect. I love scenarios where this Superman, the vampire, is Superman, and this woman now is finally realizing that he has superpowers, and you couldn't have played it better.
Oh, thanks.
Like you played it perfectly. Like you just were like, oh my God, I want him to bite me. I don't care if he fucking kills me. I just can't get enough of this guy. And the scene that I watch over and over again from that movie is
try hard.
Wait, yes, I am. The first scene where he pushes the car so that you don't die, so that you don't get hit by a car, and you realize this guy's got super strength. You just played it right.
That like sound.
Yes, it's fuck. And then when he takes you out into the woods, and and he comes to your bedroom, you're jumping out the window with him, you're holding on to him.
Yeah.
Fucking amazingly fucking romantic.
That's what it feels like. I mean, that's like when you're a kid. That's totally what it feels like. Even though, I mean, like I was super aware that we were doing like a teen movie, and I had never done that before. I'd done like very over serious kind of like dramas pretty much my whole life, and then in this, I was like, I wanted to do like a culty, weird, indulgent, just like full blown, it's weird to use the word girly now for anything because I don't even know what that means. Are we talking about what is that like?
No, it is a girly role.
But
it is the traditional. It's the Julia Roberts.
Amazing.
Yes, it's Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman when she sees Richard Gere's superpowers. It's Lois Lane seeing Superman. It is a girly. It's a traditional Hollywood girly role.
Yeah,
but it's also like a Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
100%.
But because it's so girly,
which is amazing.
That's why it's even more brave that you came out with your life and lived your life authentically, because people want to see you over and over again as that romantic girly role. I think, there's a temptation to keep falling into the same part.
Sure. But like I have that in there too. You know what I mean? I think I'm about to do like a gay Christmas movie. That's a studio film. And
wow.
Yeah, it's
who's doing that? What studio?
I think we're at Sony.
Sony?
Maybe I'm wrong. And you know what's cool? I actually couldn't tell you.
That's cool when you reach a level where you don't know what
I don't know
studio
what studio it is.
I'm like Clea Duvall right now. Like my friend Clea, who wrote and is directing this movie, is probably like, Kristen, you idiot.
Yeah. What is a gay Christmas movie, though?
The fact that any studio backs that, though, now is just such a cool thing.
Well, there's a big audience for that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of gay people.
Yeah. There have always been. Yeah.
What is a gay Christmas movie? In other words, it's following a couple that's gay in the movie?
Yeah. It's like a couple goes back home for Christmas, and it's they're kind of trying to traverse
the family.
One of them coming out. Like basically my character goes home with her girlfriend. She wants to propose. And she gets there and she's like, by the way, they don't know I'm gay, but thank you so much for coming and I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what? And it just sort of like goes like downhill from there.
I have still friends who are gay who will not come out.
Yeah. That's sad.
Everyone thinks, everyone who's gay comes out. I know I could name 20 people who are gay that will not come out.
Yeah.
They're just afraid. They just don't want to deal with the shit. They just don't.
Yeah.
So a gay Christmas movie is a great idea.
The thing is, they don't have to deal with the shit if they don't want to. Just ignore it.
Yeah, they don't see it that way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you don't have to. You literally just like, it's like if you can look at all the shit in the world, or you can look at the beautiful things. It's sort of like you have to like kind of take those in. You have to like dose yourself with, I mean, that's an individualized experience, but all I'm saying is it's not that bad. Like, don't surround yourself with that bullshit and then you don't have to focus on it.
Yeah, I know. And you've certainly lived your life that way. So I believe you when you say it. It's for them, it just seems overwhelming. It is hard to believe, but you just do it and then you deal with it.
Yeah.
Getting back to Twilight, though.
Yeah, let's
so
do
this
it.
whole thing is So this whole thing is exploding because at first, when you're shooting it, you don't know that that's going to be a monstrous movie that grossed hundreds of billions of dollars and
Not
stuff,
at all.
right? You don't know.
No, it was an independent movie. Like it was like kind of like an indie movie. I mean, we were with Summit Entertainment at the time, and it was like, was small.
And you get that part because you had worked for Sean Penn, right? Sean Penn really liked you as an actress, as a young actress. I think tell me if I got this right. And you were recommended to the director of Twilight. Is that the way it worked, that Sean Penn's recommendation, or do I have it wrong?
I'm not sure. I think maybe they know each other. I can't remember, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Sean Penn, good director?
Oh my God, yeah.
Why? Why is he a good director?
I don't know, because you just do it just feels unhinged. It feels like, protected and controlled, yet sprawling. And my favorite types of directors make me feel like anything could happen and we're on like some sort of like holy path.
What a strange thing to be so young and working for like these adults, and these adults are telling you what to do. Your parents must have been nervous about all of that because they don't know Sean Penn from a hole in the wall, and you're suddenly like, now he's your guru. And
yeah,
I'm just thinking it's a weird thing.
But they revere filmmaking. And also, my mom was with me all the time. They were really protective. Like she always like joked around. She's like, I can't believe you forced me to become the evil stage mom that we all like sort of notice on set and cringe at. And now she's on set being like, that's it. She's going. There's no overtime. And I'm like, I want to stay. And she's like, shut up.
Maybe because you were a kid. I don't know if you did or not, but did you ever experience any of these Me Too kind of moments that we read about?
Nope.
Because you were a kid and your parents were with you, you've kind of been protected that way.
I don't know. I've gotten so lucky. Yeah. I've never, ever been made to feel like, I don't know. I was like, as shy as I was as a little kid, if anyone ever, I just don't think that this is a slippery slope because nobody has ever brought this upon themselves. I just genuinely think like, I just seemed like someone you didn't want to do that to. I would have been like, what the fuck? Like I had like such a potty mouth as a kid. I was like so direct and like, I only got self-conscious as I like became a teenager. And then I like, finally I'm getting back. Now getting older is great. You become like more like you were when you were a kid. Yeah. But no, I've gotten so lucky. I've worked with really, really, I've seen people do it to other people on set and it's like made me kind of enraged. Like I've seen crew, like line producers, like people like DPs, like making stand-ins do weird shit, putting their arms around them and stuff. I sit on set and I'm like, she probably doesn't want you touching her. I'm just saying.
Right.
And then everyone's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, I mean, what? Like, call it out. Like, you're being a weirdo. Stop.
Good.
Yeah. My makeup artist was dealing with this fucking asshole once. And I was just like, I literally every day on set, I'd be like, here it comes. Nobody feels comfortable. And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're calling me out. I was like, yeah, I mean, stop it.
These guys do not see themselves at all. They're almost not even wicked people. They're just completely stupid.
Dude, they're just shaped by all of the reasons why, like white male privilege is a thing. And they're like, what?
You're so lucky. Yeah. I don't know a woman that hasn't been molested it's an epidemic who hasn't been molested or raped. It's just unbelievable how many women I meet that have had this experience.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Getting back to Twilight though. So this script comes to you.
This is fun. It's like becoming a bit.
No. It's not a bit because I'm fascinated about this. I love the moment where things get out of control. In other words, you're doing a little movie. You've worked with Jodie Foster in Panic Room. You worked for Sean Penn, this and that. You get this role. And you get it pretty easily because people had seen your work as a kid.
I auditioned for Twilight too, like pretty heavily.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
The only person I ever heard who was up against you was Jennifer Lawrence. You ever hear that story?
I think everyone kind of auditioned for that movie. And at the time, it wasn't even like a coveted, because nobody knew it was going to be such a big thing. It was sort of like, you get a part or you don't. You know what I mean? Like at that time, I mean, look, I could be wrong. Maybe there were a few girls that had read the book and like wanted it. I hadn't even read the book when I started making the movie.
I see. Were there movies that you really wanted that you never got, like that you went in for? And when you experienced rejection, like were there movies that you just said, I gotta get this fucking role and you didn't get it?
Yeah, for sure. But I can't think of what they are because I had such a, let's be honest about ego here. If I didn't get a part,
right,
I would literally be like, oh my goodness. I was totally wrong. You're an idiot. You're going to make a movie that is not the movie that I wanted to do because the movie that I wanted to do, I'm in. So
by the way, that's true.
Yeah.
And when I'm
like, wow, dodged a bullet there.
Speaking of movies you didn't want to be in, Rob, when he was here, told me with Twilight that they wanted to go on a whole nother direction. They wanted you to be smiley and him to be smiley and be lovable little, he's be a lovable little vampire. And he said it was tremendous pressure to act that movie the way he wanted to.
Yeah. He was honestly like, thank God he did have that. Like, I mean, he wouldn't do it the other way. And I don't think he even had that in his wheelhouse. Like his body wouldn't do that. And I mean, mine either. I was so overwrought and like, I was like, the only reason this is good is because it's like, oh, And they were like, no, but it's not fun. And we took a lot of slack. Like we were constantly being like reprimanded. And thank God we like stuck to our guns because that's why the movie works.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly why the movie works.
Yeah.
Your two characters really played it well.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the pressure.
Like, yes, exactly.
Well, no, it's true.
Like,
if you were the smiling, kind of not brooding teen, I would not have liked the character. I wouldn't have bought it.
That's why I said it was Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
There was some tragedy.
Characters.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it really worked. And you know,
I can't believe I'm like looking at you and talking to you about it. It's like very trippy to be here.
Looking at Rob. Every day I say to myself, I can't believe I'm looking at Rob.
He's tripping out.
Believe me,
all the time.
It's very trippy. But let me just finish this thought.
Of course. Yes,
okay. The thought being that, the audition, Rob comes in, you go to the director's house and you're on the director's bed.
Oh, it was really weird.
This is what I'm talking about. This might be the closest you came to a Meet the Mom. When you get a call to go to the director's house and be making, I don't know if you're making out, but if you're rolling around on a bed with Robert, that's a weird, who auditions in a director's house?
No, it's almost supremely fucked up. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you have weird feelings about it?
No, I was so into it.
Oh,
I'm kind of fucked up. Yeah.
You were so into it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Dude, making movies is a very occasionally, I have had like real experiences and I retain memories that feel like they're parts of my life that actually occurred while filming movies. Like acting is not, for me, when it's bad, you're lying and you're pretending. And when it's good, you're like going through something. And so, yeah, we set ourselves up for very strange experiences.
So can you go watch any of your old films or is it too emotional for you? Because
depends on which one. But yeah, sometimes they're very triggering. Yeah.
Like, would you go back and watch the first Twilight just to reminisce and say, this was, this reminds me of a time in my life that was pleasant?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen parts of it, like it'll be on TV or like, oh man, yes, I've seen it since, and like, it's such a weird movie. It's like it's so particularly itself, and then like kind of culty because it's so clunky.
Right.
It has a spirit, but it's like, what the fuck, Jesus! Like, it's hard to watch yourself at 17. It's like a very
would you recommend to other young actresses that they fall in love during their movie, or should they avoid it? Because that's my point. You say you couldn't have stopped yourself. I mean, you were in love with Rob.
I was going to say, I don't think it's really a choice. Yeah.
But isn't it dangerous because the set is such an aphrodisiac? It's like
maybe it's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah, but then you could apply that to any other. What is
real?
Yeah.
Because they cater to you, they're treating you like you're a star. No, it wasn't like that.
Not at all.
It was
Get your ass
shitty.
to set and start smiling, bitch. And I'm like,
right.
Nope.
But did you have a sense that you were in trouble now that you were in love because you're like, oh, this is cliched. I'm falling in love with my co-star.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I was so proud of it. And I was like, we're like rock stars, dude. We're like I was like, yeah, you wish that you had this. But like, when you just have that thing and you're like, this is the coolest.
Well, it's cool too because you're really trapped in like high school, like you say, or college, and at least you have this great outside romance going on at the time.
It was fun,
but it's always doomed, isn't it? Because it's just too much pressure when you got as famous as you did so quickly. Talk about the financial aspect. Okay. You go from being, I guess you were a comfortable kid growing up in terms of money. It wasn't like money was a huge issue, but still, you weren't wealthy. Your parents were okay.
Yeah, we were okay. We lived like at the base of Topanga Canyon in Woodland Hills. Like it was a very nice upbringing, but it wasn't like, I didn't like, my brother went to Calabasas High School and we would like go into those neighborhoods and be like, Jesus, like you get lost in a house or like,
right.
Yeah, that we didn't, I mean, I rode my bike to school. I always went to like public school, like, pretty
normal life, but
very suburban, normal lifestyle. Yeah.
When money starts rolling in, I mean, you've never been around, you're a kid and all of a sudden you have financial freedom. I gotta feel like this is mind-blowing and sort of incredibly liberating, because on all of those subsequent movies, you're getting a percentage of the gross. They couldn't have made those movies without you. They couldn't go ahead if you could have gotten whatever you wanted financially because you were the movie. You and Rob were the movie. Do you know what you're doing at first, or do you go fucking crazy and start buying everything in sight?
No, I have like very sort of like menial. What do I spend my money on? Like food. Like I'm into.
You got
real
a big
estate.
house?
I have a house in LA that's I'm never going to move out of. It's perfect for me. Yeah.
And we're concerned about LA burning down, right? I mean, Los Angeles, California, everything. I mean, it's on fire out there.
I know.
I just was out there. I never go out there, but it smelled like fire.
I know. It's
freaky.
a real bummer. I'm so sorry for people that are like,
but you love
that.
that's the house you bought with that money? That's what you did? You bought a house?
I bought a house.
Do people start hitting you up for money? Does your life change that way that people start to say, oh, you're rich, come on?
Yeah. I mean, not like, hey, you're rich, come on. But it's sort of like I have like dependents, but I don't mind that. I don't feel taken advantage of.
You're grateful that you can do that.
Yes, very.
So that brings us to Charlie's Angels, which you're out promoting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
You didn't watch the old TV shows?
No.
I think, why not though? Is it because it was too goofy or you just don't want to fall into the trap of pretending or acting like those people? You want to bring something new to it? No,
I mean, I kind of like familiarized myself. I think I like watched a few minutes of, like, it's just from a different time, and I totally you can watch one episode and get the gist of what they're doing,
right?
You know what I mean? So I didn't commit to like a season.
I would think that's fun as an actor to be in a Charlie's Angels movie.
So fun,
right? Because you get to shoot everybody, you get to kill people, you get all
everything,
that.
Yeah, we get to kill the bad guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. When is it coming out? It's coming. Let's see. I got that information. November 15th in theaters everywhere. Whenever that is. When is November 15th?
Couple of weeks.
And promoting a movie like that. You just did Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
We like doing that.
We do that.
You don't like doing it.
It's weird. Okay, so like, sometimes it's just mood oriented. Like if you wake up and you actually just don't have like I'm a people person. I love people. I love talking to everyone, whatever. But if there is a sort of ceiling that when you hit it, it starts to feel so absurd, and you're like, oh man, I can't talk about the thing anymore. Because it's also the most important thing in my life. Is like my work is like so personal, and it's not work. There's no separation between like I'm not professional. I'm very like feeling like I never have to be like, okay, I'm at work, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put on my game face and be a pro. It's like, no, I never want that. I want to be really available and really present and never trying to put anything on. So sometimes it's gouging out. Sometimes it literally feels like someone's gouging out your insides and you're like, get the fuck away from me.
Wait a second.
But then sometimes it feels amazing.
You talk about acting.
No, I'm talking about
promotion.
Saturday Night Live or promoting.
You never got, in your career, you never got promotion. In fact, when you were in that movie with Jodie Foster and you're 11 years old, and then they tell you after you shoot the movie and you love the whole experience, when you went out to promote that movie, you were even as an 11-year-old, I don't understand. What am I doing?
Oh, I couldn't even handle. I literally like doing interviews. I like was just
why? Because
shaky.
You don't want to be judged.
Yeah,
that way. Yeah. You don't mind being judged as an actor.
Not at all.
But you don't want to be judged as a person.
Yeah, it scared me. I was really like, I didn't want to seem stupid. I had no control over like what was going to happen. I also had like a lot of anxiety as a kid that I've grown out of.
So doing promotion is anxiety producing, and so part of because Charlie's Angels is a big movie, you feel the obligation to promote it.
Totally, and I want to. I really like the movie. I want people to see it.
But to go on Saturday Night Live,
that was scary.
That's scary. The first time you did it, I loved the opening monologue. You came out and you showed all of the tweets, or some of the tweets, that President Trump had made about you. And it was hysterical. It was the best monologue because you came out, and I thought this honesty was great. You know, because so many actors and things won't talk about what's going on in their personal life. And this, and it was so fabulous because Trump was consumed with the fact that you and Rob Pattinson had broken up.
Sure.
And he started tweeting against you saying, hey, Rob, you can do much better than Kristen Stewart. Forget her.
Yes. I had defied.
You could fuck tons of girls, basically, is what he was saying.
I had defied, like, his man. He was like, what? He was like, this measly lady has, no. It was
How
fucking
weird
absurd.
is it that the president of the United States is saying, hey, Rob, Kristen Stewart, forget over her, man. She's no good. I mean, and then you commented it on Saturday Night Live. I thought that was fucking terrific.
You would think that he had, more important things to do. Yeah, it's absurd. When the president very embarrassing for him.
When the president of the United States is going after you and basically saying, hey, you know what, you're not so hot.
Yeah, sure.
Which is what he's saying. He's judging you.
I'm literally going to like gag right now. Yeah.
He's like, hey, he's like, hey, you know what? I wouldn't fuck her.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
you know.
Literally I have to like not be a human anymore.
What, you don't want to go to bed with President Trump? You don't think that would be good for your career?
What's worse? People like actually having to fuck him, or everyone for the rest of your life thinks that you did.
Right. Oh.
I cannot imagine. I'm like, what would be worse? Fucking that guy? Or having people be like, like she fucked Donald Trump. Like,
well, Donald thinks he's
worse.
the catch of the century.
Oh,
honestly.
I know.
And I think he was very sincere. I think, that's what's so weird. I think he was very sincere that, Rob, don't worry about it. You're going to do much better than Kristen Stewart.
He was
Stop moping around.
He believes in the things that I can't finish that sentence.
I know.
Sometimes those things seemingly reflect what he thinks. It's ridiculous.
It must be surreal for you to have that happen, though. But it was great that you addressed it. Did you ever talk to Rob about it? Did you ever say, can you believe the president of the United States is carrying on about our relationship?
Yeah, well, we got back together. Like, we went through a thing and it fucking sucked. But we really wanted to be together. And so, I was like, I can't, I don't remember that particular conversation, but we definitely were talking about everything in that time.
That's kind of an exciting conversation, actually. Like, on the one hand, it's disgusting. And on the other hand, it's like, oh my God, can you believe we're that focused on?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Maybe you need a little more time.
I still need a little more separation from that. Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing that was so amazing to me, was that all the Twilight fans were so invested in your relationship as well.
Yes,
it's too much.
Oh, it is.
It's too much. It is.
Stories. We like watching stories, and everyone, it's like a choose your own adventure story too. Is like what you believe. I had people genuinely asking me if that relationship was real or fake. And I was
like the movies fabricated a thing for publicity.
Yeah.
Well, they did used to do that in the old days.
I know. It's such a weird studio system, old school way of thinking. It's like, you really think at this point after all these years that I am that's how I live my life?
There's no way a relationship could survive the types of scrutiny that you guys had. Really,
we were also just so young. You know what I mean? There are stages. Life is long.
Was there a point you would have gotten married, do you think?
I don't know.
I wonder. Imagine.
I wanted to. Yeah, no. I mean, I think I've never been
in. If he proposed, you would have gotten married.
I don't know.
I'm
not a super duper traditionalist, but at the same time, every relationship I've ever been in, I thought that was it. I've never casually. I mean, maybe one or two. I'm not giving everyone that due, but I've never really been the most casual person,
Do you think you'll get married one day?
Yeah, for sure.
That appeals to you?
It never did. And yes, absolutely.
Now it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And in no way that's tied to any weird sort of convention. It's more just when you know, you know what I mean?
But why do the traditional thing and get married? I'll tell you why I did.
Yeah.
I recommend marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it says to people, this is the person I hold above all others.
That's how I feel too.
And I want to announce that to the world.
There is nothing like feeling sure about anything because we don't know anything. And that is the only thing you can feel like is that if you're in love with someone.
And it elevates, I don't know what it is about that tradition. It elevates the relationship beyond what you could have imagined.
I completely agree with you.
It's romantic.
Yeah.
And it says,
I don't care about who it's being recognized, but not in a way that's I don't feel like I'm kowtowing to a sort of patriarchal standard. But I do feel like I want to that, honoring that and having other people recognize it. Fuck the government, but just people and your friends and your family. That means a lot to me. Yes.
I was hung up on the way people treated my wife when she wasn't my wife.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, she's going to be the bimbo of the week or something.
Right. No, I want to be on a team. And I want the team to have a name. I want to
And for everyone to feel equal in the relationship.
Completely.
Yes.
This is beautiful.
I like what you're saying.
He's a mess. Yeah. He's such a romantic.
I am a romantic.
Yeah.
You look at me, you think, oh God, how is this guy a romantic? Yeah. I mean, it's just, but it's true. When you did Saturday Night Live the first time, the big thing was all in rehearsal, you were cursing up a storm like a sailor.
Yes.
Fuck this, fuck it. You were nervous. So you start to,
I was embarrassed. Yeah. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
You were embarrassed.
It's so embarrassing. Sketch comedy is fucking ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
It's so not what I do. Literally watching those people do that is, It is baffling. They are genius. Like they're
brilliant at it.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Kate McKinnon, fabulous, right?
I am like floored by that. I'm literally floored by that person.
Insanely talented.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's like bizarre. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's sick.
And it's a unique talent.
Yeah,
she can't do. But what you do, first of all, if you weren't born with that face, this is the other thing that's got to freak you out. You got to have, there's only certain women that have the look and only certain men who have the look to be leading actors and actresses.
Yeah, I'd figure out something else, but yeah. I mean,
it's got to be a bunch of things. It's got to be a bunch of things. I mean, you got to have a certain look. What's the matter? You drinking bad water?
No, I'm just trying to like.
Why? You feel you'll jinx it? Does it feel funny for me to say that to you?
No, I just don't want to sound like an asshole. Like, yeah.
No, you got the look. When do you know you have the look? I guess when you do, I guess after Twilight and you're the leading lady, I guess you know.
I was genuinely such a sort of like weird, not like popular, not classic. Like I wasn't like traditionally. My best friend was a cheerleader, and I felt like a fucking troll.
Right.
And for a long time. So I think like when I think when I turned like 16 or 17 and like the guy that I had a huge crush on liked me back, I couldn't even believe it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, that's weird. I don't understand why does someone like me? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, no, I'm super lucky that I get to do movies where I get to do love stories. But if I didn't have that,
So it's fair to say that Saturday Night Live is a very uncomfortable situation for you. But your greatest comfort must be when they do those film little bits.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that I could tell you were comfortable. Yeah. But you're saying when you come out, especially when you come out to do the monologue.
That's the easiest part for me.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
But that's when I think it would be the worst because you got to come out as you. You're not playing a character at all. And you got to sit there and talk about something going on in your life.
Well, I'm not a sketch comedian.
Right.
So like if it was a sort of like improv or like a sort of, if it was like a dramatic workshop or a sort of exercise situation that was broadcast, I would be fine with that. I'm not going out and shooting the shit with an audience and being like, I put no pressure on myself for that. Like, it's not my job to like be hilarious. And I don't think anyone really expects that. I think like the coolest thing to do is just go.
People say
and kick it.
Your friends say you're funny. They say that the Charlie's Angels character kind of most reflects who you are in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But sketch comedy is like outlandish. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't do a bunch of impressions and, I mean, maybe I could get a little better at it in time, but it's not like my default setting,
Do you go, who tells you what to wear when you come out? Because that was a very provocative outfit. I liked it.
Thank you.
The sexy.
Yeah. That's what I was going for.
Bra. You were though, weren't you?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you're wearing a bra, but I'm seeing the bra. You're showing some skin. The skirt was kind of tight. Mm-hmm. You like that?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I like women.
Yeah, you looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but who helps you with that? Do you have a stylist?
I have a stylist that I've been working with since I was like 14.
Wow.
Yeah. So we really know each other. We like.
And what about Coldplay? Do you hang out with them at all when you're doing Saturday Night Live, or is it just? It's a crazy schedule. Right? It's a tremendous time commitment. You've got to be there a couple of times during the week for rehearsal, right? I mean, it's a
You're there. You're honestly when Monday starts, that's it. Until Saturday at 1:00 in the morning.
Are you in the sketch? Are you in the writers' room when they're writing these sketches?
You can be if I'm more hands off because I feel like as soon as I start having something to do with. I don't even writing things or being too in the developmental process of filmmaking starts to sort of take me out of it as an actor. I need to sort of believe it in a way that like feels, I don't know, like if I make it up, I don't believe it. Anyway, and also it's not what I do. And I think that for me to sort of try and say like, hey, do you think you could incorporate this sort of half-baked idea into your writing?
Right.
Because you do this all the time and how annoying that must be to have some fucking asshole actor come in and be like.
But is that an asshole? What if you did? What if you don't have to do?
They ask you to. They want you to. But I was like, you do your thing and I'll just like kind of follow your lead.
But let me alleviate some of your pressure in life. If you do a particularly good impression, like maybe you do impressions. I don't know. Maybe I don't know that about you, but maybe you do. Why not go to the writers and say on Saturday Night Live, listen, I do a great impression of Ariana Grande, and it would be really funny if I did that. Why not? Why not insert yourself into the process?
Because I probably have like an inferiority complex about having a superiority complex, and I'm overly self-conscious and I have a huge ego.
Oh my God.
My ego's like, bah! And then I'm like, no. Like,
would you clear up a rumor for me about you?
Yeah.
There was some story where Harvey Weinstein, of all people, was had a charity thing.
Yes.
And there was some, I don't know, sheikh or Saudi Arabian prince.
Yep.
Who said, I will give $500,000, Harvey, to your charity if you get me 15 minutes alone with Kristen Stewart.
That sounds terrifying, and that happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
Did you go through with it to raise money for the charity?
Unbeknownst to me, this occurred. I had sort of been sidestepping this person for a while in other ways. Like I can't remember how, but like this was some, like I knew about this person. I was like, no. Cause it wasn't, at first it wasn't a philanthropic thing at all.
Right. In other words, someone was trying to get a hold of you.
Yeah. He would do anything. He would pay me. Yeah, exactly. Pay anyone anything in order to just like kick it with me for a second. And so
probably in his mind, he's thinking, if you just met me for 15 minutes,
oh yeah,
you'll be in love.
Maybe this will be it.
This will be it.
Yeah.
You will run off with him. Yeah.
I wonder what his thought process was. I really don't know.
You try to keep that out of your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so I went to this fundraiser that I was invited to, and he was there, and I was like, oh, I've just been fully harpooned. And it's fine. I'm like, I was ultimately, it was well intentioned, but it was definitely a lie. It was like I was coerced into a really good thing. If he had just told me, I probably would be like, okay, fuck it. Yes, that will raise a lot of money for this thing. I'm down. I'll come see him as long as there's like people around, and I'll like shake his hand and be like, da da da, totally bye.
Right.
But to do that to someone and not tell them is like,
so the meeting,
it's really
like
something Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, it
exactly.
sure is.
Yeah.
What, so you had the 15 minutes with this guy. I guess you made good on it. You were alone.
I walked into a room and he was there.
And he was there.
No, I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Did you have security around you?
Always. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. It wasn't a dangerous or precarious. It wasn't like a weird situation. It was a very weird situation, but it was not a threatening situation. It was just like, this is sort of wrong. You could have gone about this in a different way, you psycho.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, that's when you get used.
Yeah. That was weird.
Users.
Used for a good thing, but
no, it's a use.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
You must have a crazy life. Do you get proposed to a lot? I mean, do you have a lot of guys doing that kind of stuff where they're like, hey, come on, just, go out with me once?
No. I don't think I put that off.
Wow. Jesus. What was the conversation like, by the way? That would be a really fucked up movie. We actually married the guy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was it a horrible conversation?
I don't remember. I don't think we talked about much.
Oh,
I think I was like, nice to meet you.
Oh my. Yeah. It was a flirt.
Yeah.
A flirtation of sorts.
I definitely was not flirting.
No, not you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What a life.
But really, he didn't have anything to say.
I don't remember. I think I was just like probably staring at Ruth and being like, oh
Poor Ruth.
my God, right now. Yeah.
Kristen, you've lived a full life and you're only 29. Think about it. Think about what's going on. I wonder what the future will hold.
I feel so crazy lucky. I've been saying it a lot like recently. I feel like it must be a simulation and I am somewhere designing my little life. Like, yeah. It's going great.
It's going great.
Yeah.
At the end of Saturday Night Live, you were jumping up and down. Was that relief?
I didn't see the end.
Yeah.
Was that what it is? Oh, you really hate it that much?
No, I don't. No. Here's the thing. It's just scary. But I am everything I do is scary. I put myself in like very high pressure situations and I thrive on it. I love it. But it's a lot. I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, I would go back into like Lauren said, like, you can totally come back if you want to. And I was like, I'll be back. And everyone's like, why would you do that to yourself? You're kind of, you have to really breathe your way through that. Like you're huffing through it. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I understand that. I do that with painting. I try to paint things that I'm not comfortable painting because I want to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
And in a way, you got to challenge yourself. You
course.
got to keep challenging yourself.
What do you
right?
paint?
Watercolor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But, you know, I'll see something and I go, I don't think I can draw that.
Mhm.
And then I go and draw it because that's the way you get better.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh
And-
my God, absolutely. I don't want to say no to stuff. Like, it makes me feel bad about myself. I would rather fuck up at something rather than avoiding it and then feeling like I
Yeah,
was
but
a
isn't it
pussy.
hard even deciding to do Charlie's Angels? Because, like, you got so much on the line now. You have so much success.
Mm.
When you fuck up, it's real. There's a big spotlight on it. So it's like probably the decisions are a little too tight. Like you just can't go off and do any film you want now.
Yeah, I definitely was like pretty aware that if this didn't turn out good, that I would be like super bummed. But I've made a lot of bad movies. It's fine. Like I don't mind. I know that
By
I
bad movies, you feel the movie is bad, but your performance is good, or you're critical of your own performance.
both,
Both.
depending on individual. Yeah, I mean,
What's the bad movie you made?
oh my God, I made so many sort of.
What's
like,
a bad movie you made?
I don't want to be mean to people.
Be
I like
mean to
people.
yourself. What's your worst performance?
My worst performance?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, let me see. I look back at certain things and think that there were missed opportunities, like or just times where I kind of my body let me down. I'm really embarrassed when I watch Adventureland, and I love the movie, and I love Greg Mottola, and I love Jesse Eisenberg. He's one of
Right.
my favorite people to work with, and I want to do it forever. But it was a certain time that I'm like, dude. And then people love that movie, and I guess if I can step outside of myself, it's fine. Let me see, what else am I bad in?
I don't think you were bad in Adventureland.
No, I don't think I'm bad in it. There was just a few things where I was like, dude.
You could have done them better.
Yes, absolutely. Certain parts of Twilight, New Moon, I totally screwed up the like devastating. I was so in love with Robin, so happy that I like couldn't imagine losing him.
Yeah, right.
And then like, but now I'm like, oh man, I could have really like done better work in that movie. And
Nudity not a big deal to you.
no, not at
You've
all.
been nude in a lot of movies.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not like a mod. I'm not like a mod. I was going to call myself not prude, like I'm like some sort of raging slut.
The first time you do a movie and they say, okay, you got to show your titties, for lack of
Yeah.
a better word.
No, I want people to like really appreciate I like living openly.
Right.
I have nothing to hide. Let me put it that way. Like
Right.
I want to bear myself for sure.
I admire you.
Um,
Yeah. Look at what's going on with you. Very admirable.
I think it's been kind of a reaction to being such a shy weirdo as a kid. I just went like, it's all or nothing, you know?
No, you're doing great.
Well, after Twilight, you did a lot of independent films and smaller films. Was that by choice or, because you could have gone just and made blockbusters?
Yeah. There aren't very many good, viable blockbuster
Mhm,
options. You know what I mean?
No.
So yeah, I just want to make good stuff. If it's big or small or
That movie, the fuck was it? The one with Charlize Theron.
Snow White and
Snow White.
Huntsman
That fucking movie made like $500 million.
did really well. Yeah.
And then they didn't ask you to be in the sequel.
We lived in a different time then, you know what I mean? I feel like now, like the slut shaming that went down was like so absurd.
was
And they
the
should have
slut-
put me in that movie. It would have been better. Not to be a dick, but
You're saying there was slut shaming of you in that?
well, they didn't put me in that movie because like I went through a
a
highly
scandal.
publicized scandal,
Because
and
you
so they
fell in
were
love
like
with the
scared of touching. Yeah, they were scared
Oh.
of touching that.
That's
again.
why they didn't have you in the sequel? That was a
Mm.
dumb move.
I think so.
They didn't have you in this. Isn't that wrong, though? Not to put you in a sequel because you fell in love with the director?
Well, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say
what
that
kind
I
of
fell in
bullshit?
love with the director,
Oh, well,
but
you had
I
an
mean,
affair.
yeah, it was it was kind of a weird thing. But
Right.
I definitely think that movie, it wasn't that big of a deal. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like literally wasn't.
No,
that big of a-
because I've actually forgotten about that.
yeah, like
People
so
at the time think it's a big deal.
the work is so much more important. It's like, what do you care if I just thought that movie actually, we could have made a great second one and we could have done it in a functional and healthy way. And then we didn't ultimately do that. And that's okay because I did other stuff and it's fine. But yeah, that was weird.
So you were blamed for you not being in the second movie just because you had sex with somebody. That's what you're telling me.
I did not fuck him.
Oh, you didn't fuck him. Okay.
I love
that's
this.
even
This is
worse.
like the most candid interview. Ruth's gonna be like,
Ruth, take it easy. She just had a heart attack. No, but you didn't fuck that
no,
guy.
I didn't even fuck him.
Oh, so then why not clear that up? Why not say that?
Well, who's gonna believe? It doesn't
believe
even
you.
matter. I feel like you do, and I actually feel like this is the most honest setting I've ever been involved with.
You have been so honest through this. I believe you. So why did you get pegged as fucking? You were dating.
Because it looks like, you like make out with a dude in public. It definitely looks like you did.
So it was an innocent sort of thing. The media made it out to be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't innocent. That was like, that was a really hard period of my life. You're like, I was like really young and like,
Well, it's understandable. You're a young woman. Yes, okay, you were going out with Rob.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to deal with that. I made some mistakes.
Hey, guess what? Everybody does.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And honestly, it's no one's business. And people get over shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, it really is not a big deal. And basically what I'm saying is like the work to me genuinely was like ignored in a really sort of frivolous, like silly, petty way for a group of adult people who are like supposed to be running studios and making films. That's what I mean, honestly, like the film industry in Hollywood is so fear-based, and it's so like there are equations that lead people to massive decisions that you assume are creative that are not at all.
Yes.
And so like that didn't fit in their equation.
That's
and
why
I think they're idiots, because if you take a little risk and you make something good, people will watch it and like it and pay you.
That's why I said you were brave in the beginning, because you're brave about your relationship with your girlfriend, and because I know even being photographed smoking a joint can actually keep you off a movie, even in this day and age. So,
yeah,
any of this stuff. Well, listen, you've said a lot.
Yeah, whoa.
By the way, what's her name?
Ruth.
Ruth?
Yeah.
She quit. She doesn't want to work with you.
Ruth, I love you, man.
Look,
you put me here. You put me on Howard Stern.
Yeah,
what do you think is going to happen?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart is in Charlie's Angels. What she's really here to say is, look, she wants you to see the movie. You're proud of the movie. Charlie's Angels is sexy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hot chicks
fun, it's
running around killing dudes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, these bitches are taking it back.
Yeah.
Are they taking it back?
Absolutely. I mean, the movie's about like a network of women across the globe that have like
I always thought there was one Bosley. You're saying in this film, shockingly, there are multiple Bosleys.
Yeah, and multiple teams and networks and just like fully connected. Like anyone who's like really slaughtering, like any woman in power in our movie, probably an angel. Like we're all together. Like power in numbers is like a real warm, fuzzy feeling. And
you like the message?
I do. The whole message is that like Charlie isn't even a real. I mean, like he started the company years ago, but like Charlie's a movement in our movie. It's not like a man who owns a company and owns a bunch of women that he sends off to go do his bidding. We run the company, and it's a
the angels run the company.
Yes,
that's the difference.
Yeah.
Did you kick ass with karate?
Yeah.
Do you know how to do karate for real?
No, but I can fake it really well. Like I can do a tornado kick.
And what do you train for? And when you hold a gun, have you done some training with guns?
A little bit. That I was lessened to. Those kind of screw me up a little bit.
But isn't that an important lesson? I mean, Keanu Reeves, when he plays John Wick, this kid knows what he's doing.
Yeah. We were really responsible. Like we didn't like, every bullet is accounted for in our movie. Like we're not like shoot him. Like we're not just like, oh, there's a bunch of people over there. Bah, 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 bah.
You mean you try to look before you shoot?
If you use your firearm, it is like, oh, shit. Like they're
In other words, it's not.
We're not killing goons. Like they're not nameless goons. We know. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
You're trying to kill actual people in the movie, and have some gravitas behind killing them.
They need to be stopped. They're posing a threat, and they need to be taken out.
How long a shoot is Charlie's Angels?
We were there for 4 months, I think.
No kidding. Where do you shoot? Somewhere warm?
We were in Berlin.
Oh,
not warm.
That a fucked up place?
I
makes
love
me
Berlin.
nervous.
That makes sense.
Well, look at me.
It's weird. It's definitely like it's eerie, but I love that city. It's just not where you want to like flounce around in like small outfits. I was like, really, Eastern Europe? Like, come on,
Why?
Man.
Because these guys will hit on you and
it's cold.
Oh, that's why.
It's like, the idea of Charlie's Angels, like I think like convertibles and like sunshine and beaches, and we did not do that.
Yeah, you must have been miserable, because what I get from watching you in the paparazzi, you like wearing warm clothes in hot weather. Yeah. Fair to say?
Yeah, it totally depends. Like my style is all over the map. Like sometimes I look sometimes I put on like baggy shit, and then sometimes I like want to wear
My wife
shorts.
lived in Berlin and loved it.
It's cool.
She thinks it was great.
Yeah, it's very liberated.
Yeah. When they tell you Berlin, though, I'd be like, oh, fuck, can't we just shoot somewhere warm?
Yes, that's what I thought. I was like, are you serious? Charlie's Angels in Berlin?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It's sexy.
You should be in the Bahamas in bikinis.
Agreed. But that's kind of obvious.
Yes. How dare
Yes.
they?
What's going on in the Bahamas? Not much.
What's going on is warm weather and all kind of thing.
But if you want intrigue, you go to Berlin.
It's
Listen,
true.
I like what you've said today.
Thank you.
You've been raw. You've been honest. You went out. You tackled a lot of topics.
Yeah.
So many, I don't know what the hell. I don't even know how to sum up. Is there anything to sum up, Robin? Have you learned
I
anything?
think we've got it all.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
And I expect you to be married soon. Are you in love right now?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. I mean, the answer is yes.
Will you propose?
Absolutely.
When?
I can't fucking wait.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
This is big.
I want to be like sort of somewhat reasonable about it, but I think like good things happen fast and yeah.
Propose.
Yeah. It's been, yeah. I mean, like, look,
What
let
will you
me put
say?
it this way.
Will you get down on one knee in traditional proposition?
No, I can't say right now because she'll find out.
She's listening?
Probably not, but I feel like that might get back to her,
It
and that
might
would be
get
a really
back,
bad
yeah.
idea.
Have you told her you want to marry her?
hmm
You have.
I also know I have a couple plans that are like just the coolest things to do that like I don't think it's pretty undeniable. Yeah.
I fucked mine up.
Really? How did you do it?
I'm embarrassed to tell you because you're going to think I'm an asshole. But-
I can tell you're not an asshole.
I got naked and I asked Beth to get naked. Now, why did I do that? What the fuck was I doing?
Where
At
were
least
you?
they were in the house.
Oh, yeah. No, we were at the gym. No. I mean, we were in, and I said, I want to tell you something, and I think we should be naked when we do it. And I mean, imagine what I look like naked. I'm surprised I didn't get a flat out no. All I'm saying is don't be naked when you do it.
Mm.
I saw a romantic thing the other day. I'm at a restaurant with Jimmy and Jimmy Kimmel and his wife Molly.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting there in Brooklyn, and a guy just got down on his knee at the restaurant,
Wow.
and he proposed, and right in front of us,
yeah.
and it was very romantic, traditional but romantic.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you should do.
I'm really impulsive. Like I don't know when that's going to be, but the first time I told her that I loved her, we were like sitting in this random bar. It had only been like I've known her for like 6 years, but we started like seeing each other. It was like 2 weeks in, but it was literally like the day that I met her. Like all bets were off.
You mean you were friends for a while, like for many years?
I met her years ago on a movie, and I hadn't seen her in 6 years. And then she like rocked up at a friend's birthday party, and I was like, where have you been and how have I not known you? She's been like living in LA
It hit you?
alongside my life somehow, but not ever converging. And so, yeah, the first time I told her I loved her, I was just like, it was like really late and we were in some like shitty bar and her friends were there or whatever. And they like walked out and I was just like, oh man, I'm so fucking in love with you. Like done.
Just like that.
And yeah. It wasn't like a thing. And it also was like so obvious. Like it just
Isn't that
is.
hot?
Yeah, it's sick. I'm sure that that's how it'll happen. Although I do have like a really good idea. We're both from LA and we like really love LA. And we're both kind of like scumbags. Like we both felt like trolls as kids. We're like so similar but different. She's a writer. She's brilliant. Like, but I have this like really cool thing that I'm going to do that I want to tell you, but I just can't.
Oh, you got to tell me this. Well, I just re-proposed to my wife on Jimmy's show and they got remarried on Ellen. I mean, talk about whirlwind. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You got remarried on
I was
Ellen?
on Jimmy's show and I've proposed to my wife many times. I said, let's get remarried. She goes, no, it's fucked up. People always end up getting divorced after that. So I said to Jim, I'll go on vacation with Jimmy. I said, watch me propose to Beth and I'll get down on my knee and I'll propose. And she'll go, no, in front of all of our friends. So I went on a show and I thought it'd be funny to watch her say no to me. And instead she said yes.
Of course, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's pretty romantic.
It's really sweet.
Is that what you're planning, more romantic than that? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you come on this show and propose? That would be great for me. I don't know about you. I mean, how awesome would that be? I really need that from you.
Mine is it's just different. I've got a different idea, but
With a ring?
yeah, the idea for that is actually it's super wrapped up in what I'm. Yeah.
Do you have a ring?
Trying to get no.
I know. He's
No.
worming his way around.
He is. Yeah,
Don't
he's
do
really
something
good at
lame
this.
like a cigar band, the ring.
No.
It's all pulling off.
It's
A
the
Jack in the Box or a
coolest thing.
Cracker
It's-
Jack ring.
No
you
way.
should run this by me.
I mean, as soon as we are off the air, I will tell you exactly what it is. It's really cool.
Really?
Yeah, I have two things that I like. I've even told her like, God, there's two things I won't be able to tell you until I can tell you, and she's like, what?
So you might as well do it already. You've basically told her you're going to marry her.
Totally, but like, I want to like luxuriate in this shit. I want to like, I don't want to rush. I want to like,
Romance.
yeah, I want to draw it out.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're doing it right.
yeah. I feel like that. I feel like that.
No, listen, I wish you luck with that. I'm a
Thanks.
big proponent of this. I think it's
Thanks.
time to get married. It's time to just profess your love.
Yeah.
And time to tell the world this is my wife, or
Oh.
whatever it is.
I mean, I completely agree with you. I want to make like movies and kids with this girl. And that's like, I can't believe I'm so like, I literally like drew her in a dream and then she like now exists. It's
She's a
fucking-
writer?
Yeah. She's a brilliant screenwriter.
What has she written? Do I know any of her work?
She's
I
just
don't
now
know
getting,
her.
she's like just now getting like a few of her things like greenlit. And she has a stack of scripts in her apartment.
Wow.
Like three of which I want to do.
She
And
younger
that's
or
just-
older than you, the same age?
She's a couple years older than me.
Couple years
She's-
older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want to have kids, huh?
I want to have a family for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Also, she said this like sick, amazing thing that I was like, God, you're right. You know, when you hear stories about somebody who, somebody that you're in love with tells you that they had like a bad time as a kid.
Right.
Her childhood wasn't like the easiest, and we all like go through some weird stuff, and you want to go like, oh, I wish I could like time travel and protect you.
Yes.
The reason you have kids is because you like can complete that impulse. You go like, well,
Hopefully.
I guess we got to make a kid that I can feel like is you so I can protect it.
Will you have a
Because I can't
prenup?
time travel.
You have to have a prenup. I hate to bring in reality to this whole beautiful
I never
fantasy.
considered that, but she is literally like,
You have to do it.
I feel you. I mean, sure, I wouldn't. I literally know. Like,
Listen to me.
yeah, maybe she goes crazy. This person,
No, she won't go crazy. And
Yeah.
the conversation will be, if she's the right woman, which I believe she is.
Yeah.
Because I know her so well.
you would really like her. She's funny.
Well, I think, why not? Listen, you're sitting on a stash of cash that's
Sure.
unbelievable. We gotta let some reality into this.
Yeah. I never thought about that, but sure.
Now
Yeah.
she's nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, marriage.
Oh, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, look,
I think she would literally like. No, I mean, yeah, money. She's definitely like she's got good values. You know, she knows
listen,
what's
not to
important.
say you're not willing to share. I mean, you're going to. It's going to be a life together. You're going to live together.
I want to give her literally like providing things for her. I love like if she's not hungry, I'm like, maybe you're kind of hungry. Maybe you want a bagel or something, right?
You want to know something?
Like giving her shit is, I can't tell you how happy it makes me.
You are in love.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
know.
seen you like this, and I just met you.
Right.
Unbelievable. You
Yeah.
want to scream it from the hilltops. You're like in Titanic. You're like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
To be honest, yeah.
All right, listen.
I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's cool.
I've kept you here for 17 hours, like Chinese water torture. Kristen Stewart is here to tell us that Charlie's Angels is opening November 15th in theaters everywhere. You're pretty remarkable. I love everything you said, and I'm on the same page with you.
I feel that.
I'm glad I met you.
I'm so happy that I did this because I grew up with you, and this is such a trip.
Well,
Like,
thank you. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan. I'm an admirer.
same. Likewise. My dad. Oh, I have to just
Yes.
I have to give one shout out to my best friend's mom, Patty.
Patty, go ahead.
She listens to it every single day, and
What's her
I love it.
story?
She's she created my favorite person that I'm not in love with, but
Right.
that is my absolute favorite person. So she's my best friend, and she did a good job. Susie's like a fucking magic unicorn light.
You got any famous friends, or are they most just people who are not in show business?
Both. Yeah, both.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the people close to you. Who's your closest famous friend?
Emma Roberts is one of my
Oh,
best friends.
she's a
She
big
lives.
deal.
Yeah, look, she just moved into my into my neighborhood. She's one of my very closest friends.
I might have to
Have
hang
any
with you
other famous
kids.
friends?
You, Emma. Maybe I'll hang out with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll see.
Do you get together at 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what time do you guys eat dinner? You mind eating at 4:30? Sorry, I'm old.
I'll eat all day.
I aged out. Kristen Stewart. The movie is Charlie's Angels. I'm excited about Charlie's Angels. Always was a big fan of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Always liked it. So-
Liked all the movies
Liked the
and the
movies.
TV show.
I love
yeah.
movies.
Yeah, all good. Opening November 15th in theaters everywhere. And thank you for coming in today.
Dude, thank you. This was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. Was it fun? It wasn't horrible?
No, this is great. Honestly, I would love if all press was just actual, honest, like bare. I love like taking it all off. I
so
hate
glad.
like peddling an idea that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That feels weird to me. And some people, that's all they want. And you're like, stop trying to make me do that.
I love when people say to me they had a good time because,
Yeah.
you know, I know that sometimes it can be drudgery, just getting up in the morning and doing promotion and things. But
Trust me,
that's
this
really
morning I was like, oh my fucking God, an hour talking about this stuff.
good. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you? You were
I was-
dreading it?
Yes,
And
I
now
was.
you feel good about it.
I feel great.
You
I'm
feel
like
energized.
You are sending me off into a press day that would otherwise be like pretty wearing, and
What
I'm,
else do you have to do? Blow it off. What do you have to do? What's so important?
I have to go talk to the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Oh yeah, them you have to kiss their ass for sure.
They're sweet people.
Yeah, and there's a big market there, and the other.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
not so bad.
I think
Okay.
it's just sort of customary. It's also something I'm completely used to. I've been talking to them since I was a little kid, so it's sort of like, hey guys,
You know them all, yeah.
yeah. And then we promote our movie today. Like me and the girls go on television for 5-minute periods or 4-minute periods.
So
and
at
we
least
say,
you'll be with them. That'll be fun.
yeah. For the
You like
first
them?
half, I'm alone, which blows. They're the best. They're
Who's
the
in the movie with
sweetest
you?
girls.
We didn't even mention their names.
Ella Balinska and Naomi Scott.
Are they any good as actors, or were you disappointed in their performance?
Thank God they were both incredible.
What the fuck do you do if you get on a set and the other actors blow? Has that happened to you?
Yes.
Oh, you vey.
Oh, it's horrible. They
What do
make
you
you
do?
worse. You're like, God, you're making me look bad.
Listen, in
no.
Private Parts, I got to be with Paul Giamatti. Think
He's
about
the
that.
shit.
Mary McCormick.
Dude, yeah.
You act like you didn't act with me.
You
You're
were
like,
great.
hello.
We had a
Yeah, I'm
scene
right here.
together where I thought we'd get the Academy Award. You want an Academy Award? Would you like an Academy Award?
I want to be acknowledged for greatness for sure, but I'm definitely not like, I can't do that campaign thing. I cannot
No.
like vie for, I mean, and not to say that that's why everyone gets them, but there's a certain like sort of thing that you have to do in order to, and I have not done a performance that I find worthy of that yet. When I do,
Yes.
I will absolutely be like, I think I should do this now.
Well, I said to Robert Downey Jr., I believe that he deserved an Academy Award for Tony Stark, at least the nomination. I think he did a fantastic job. But because it was a comic movie, and he said, you know what, I didn't want to even go and campaign. I didn't want to do all that shit.
You got to do it if you
Yeah.
want it. Yeah.
I'll help you out with that.
As soon as I do something that I think is good enough, I'll do it.
Come in here, we'll get you the Academy Award.
Okay.
And just mention me when you're up there and say Howard. Anything Howard, all right? All right, listen, Kristen. They're telling me I've got to give you the heave-ho
Okay.
because you've got so much publicity to do.
Yeah, I got to go talk to more people.
You
I feel
can't-
like I feel like today I'll just be like,
You did
I
enough.
kind of did. I said everything. If you want to just refer to the
Right.
My audience will go see Charlie's Angels. So you're there.
Cool.
Everyone will be there. That'll
Well,
be it.
sick.
We like
That's-
all that. There's people being killed, which we love. We love on-screen violence, my audience.
Okay.
We love hot women. We
yes, full of that.
do. We love that.
Mhm.
And that's it. But actually, that's what we love.
And there we are.
There we are. You
Perfect.
provided that. All right. And shout out to Patty,
Mm.
who made Susie.
I love that.
Right. That's a very important thing. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Howard Stern Show.